Hey everyone. Well, that was a bit awkward. I had someone popping in to say hi, and yeah, basically mid live stream, you can't pause it. Could have muted it, but it still would have been a bit weird. So I dived off and thanked the person for dropping something off to me, and jumped back on now for a second live stream, a part two. Um, I think actually there was quite a nice line already around the different points I was trying to make. I'll give a very quick summary. Did the whole Happy New Year, how was your Christmas part, and a bit about mine. So again, you can go back and check the part one if you missed that. And yeah, I was talking about why Purple Goat's looking to do more than £1 million as a target in 2021, but very much taking it down the social mission side of it, and talking about my time at the disability charity Scope and the convergence of entrepreneurship, social media, and disability inclusion. William saying, "Woo, I thought my comment killed the broadcast." Go Martin, go. Yeah, I literally saw William's comment jump up as I had to cut the feed momentarily. And yeah, and obviously explaining that as Purple Goat grows as a business, it brings economic opportunity to disabled people. It addresses poverty as one of the difficulties we used to talk about a lot at Scope, but also how it benefits the brands we work with as well. So just talking about that real win-win-win of what we're doing. And then maybe this is partly why it cut, but after I want to be really open and honest with you, that through all of my professional journey, I've always struggled with the finance side in terms of, we're always told that disabled people are unemployed or on benefits. And of course, just want to 100% caveat that those figures are true. That narrative is true. There's a lot of people, that struggle with those difficulties. I'm very blessed that I was able to get the education I got, that I've always been in paid employment, even when I was self-employed, and it really was grinding it out and hand-to-mouth stuff for quite a few years. It was really, not all on a plate, and it took a lot of hard work. But I'm really, really grateful and have that perspective that, I've always managed to get by on the financial side okay. But I think there is a risk of this sort of catch-22, maybe you could call it, that if all we talk about is the unemployment and the poverty, it makes someone like me growing up, I've been disabled my whole life, feel that that's how it has to be. And so as I got, maybe more clear on business strategy, business execution, like the right kind of skills, the right networks, I have to say one of the biggest blockers has been my own mindset. And so partly to announce that I'm going to try and go with my team, and obviously it's not just a one-person thing, it's a massive collective effort, but we at Purple Goat are going for this million. It's really to push my own challenge, my own limitations. And I sort of feel that the more disabled people that we talk about media representation, but we don't talk as much about business and the financial side. And I think that it's really important that we can have that conversation about what if there are disabled people that are entrepreneurs and they become successful, and that creates a narrative to the next generation, just the way Paralympians do and people on television do. I think there's maybe another chapter or a new wave of inclusion that is very much around the business side. So obviously I've talked a lot at length about why it matters at scale, but I kind of also wanted to come out the gates today, first day back at work, and yeah, just put that target out there. Like I said earlier, if we do not all of that or double that, the actual number is quite arbitrary. What's important is that we're making the world better, we're changing the world for good. But on that really personal financial level, I was like, well, actually, what if I did make proper money from business ventures? What would that mean to me? And I was thinking, what? Well, pay the mortgage off for starters, right? But like I could get some really cool tech that makes me more independent. For you, a lot of you know I love Spain. Like I've lived out in Spain for a while, always going on holiday, including the Canaries, which is part of Spain, even though it's nearer Africa geographically. But basically anything Spanish, I love it. And I was like, why not have a villa? Like, I've always had such an open mind about certain things. Like I've flown planes and scuba dived and traveled the world and done all this really awesome stuff. But there's always been this block about, I'm not able to make lots of money because that's not what disabled people do. And so, yeah, I just felt it was quite an important thing to admit to myself, which has been quite hard the last year, like on a personal development level, to understand that block that I think I've had for quite some time. And of course, as I said, there's a lot of other variables about how businesses grow and get bigger and get better that are in isolation to just the mindset of finances. But yeah, I think this could also be a real, change for if I'm able, or other disabled entrepreneurs are able to become really super successful business people. I think that narrative is really exciting, and I'm going to try my hardest not to feel some kind of awkward guilt at the potential of making some real money. And as I say, when I actually allow myself to daydream, it gets quite fun and quite interesting, because also I talked about what I'd personally do, like, some independent living tech stuff and the villa in Spain. And I'm sure I could think up a few more big dreams that I might chase down over 1, 5, 10, 20, 30 years. However, again, doesn't really matter how long it takes. It's often the climb is the chase is the most fun part of the journey as well, right? But if things go really well, I quite like the idea of investing in other disabled entrepreneurs and helping to create impact in that sort of ripple effect. So yeah, to finish up the two parts with our slight little interruption in the middle there, I think it's going to be a big year for Purple Goat, just for the whole industry of inclusion and accessibility. It's really exciting times. There's a lot of work to do, a lot of educating to do, but there really is this interesting convergence of business, digital marketing, and inclusion, as I've said a few times now. And I think the more we can all do our part and all collaborate and support each other and partner with each other in this community, in this world, we're going to create some really big and exciting waves and exciting changes. And I think, whilst, as we said, there's the charity model and that still plays its part, let's be more open-minded as to how business and individuals that take a lot of risk and do the whole, entrepreneurial startup stuff could also, be an interesting part of that bigger puzzle, and maybe more nurtured and encouraged than previously have been done. There's probably another whole Q&A, another episode of Ask Sibs about funding entrepreneurial ventures, which I'll happily answer another time. But yeah, I'm just like, it's out there now. We're going for the million, and I hope you can follow me on what I'm hoping to do a lot more of these live streams. They won't only be daily updates of how we're doing financially, I promise you. I'm looking to just give a lot of value to the community that follow me around all sorts of different topics: leadership, management, marketing, etc. So do get any questions in that you might have for me. And otherwise, let's see what the year brings. And I most of all wish you all your own success. And I definitely would encourage you, whether you're a freelancer, entrepreneur, an employee, whatever sort of thing you're involved in, is try and set yourself some lofty target for 2021. And hopefully, as things develop and move forward around the whole COVID situation, on a very personal level, I sort of feel January and February are going to be quite potentially a bit anxious around the virus, and just I'm going to hunker down, play it safe. But I do feel like March, April onwards, hopefully there'll be some relaxing of the restrictions and some sense of normality again, which is exciting. I'm hoping to go abroad again at some point. As you know, I'm an avid traveler too. But yeah, whatever it is that comes from this year, definitely look to give yourself a really big target, but don't base your happiness on whether you actually succeed. I couldn't give a crap whether we actually get that million or not. I just know that we're all going to do our best. We're going to enjoy the ride, and it's going to make a lot of positive difference. But I think there's just something quite cool about lofty targets to sort of focus attention and channel our energy. So that's why I've done it, and I've announced it, because I want that accountability as well of sharing it with you all publicly. Now it's on the internet forever, right? It's out there. So yeah, I'll keep you posted. Let me know what your sort of goals or targets, if you have any, are for the year. Most of all, don't forget #AskSibs, where I'll be answering any questions, as I said, on any topic. So it doesn't have to be along the lines of today's conversation. It literally could be, how did I fly a plane, if you're interested in that. All those kind of questions, get them in, and I look forward to sharing more little videos like this as the year goes on. Take care. Happy New Year again, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.